Alright, this was originally going to be some sort of live commentary gameplay, but it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when I recorded it, so wasn't really much useful stuff coming out of my mouth. I watched a video recently by, am I saying Skull Merchant? By Farmer John, amazing DBD creator. He did a video basically, it was like 3 months ago, I think, doing a Skull Merchant strategy where he went kind of back in time to try to play the chess merchant playstyle, in that he popped the game offering and he would just defend the gens on the bottom floor. Now, I thought this was an interesting idea, and I wanted to combine this with a skill check build. So I loaded in, and like the whole plan is basically defend the gens on the bottom floor. And as you can see, I've loaded in, and the gens have just spawned as far as they possibly can from each other. So I watched his video, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do the same thing, like with protecting the gens, because, you know, gens are going to be close to each other. I can defend them easily, and then I just get different RNG, and I'm so stupid for not realizing that's how the game literally works. Okay, so the game plan is like, we're not going to be like constantly kicking gens. The game plan is basically we're going to put drones down in the entire bottom floor, try to get everyone to get claw traps, and then have our build be centered around skill checks being difficult. So we are running Unnerving Presence, which is my top perk, making skill check zones harder to hit when I'm in or when they're in my tear radius. Now, I'm actually not entirely sure if this works when I have just put a drone down, because I become undetectable. And undetectable makes them not be able to hear my heartbeat. So I'm not entirely sure. I feel like they're still technically in my tear radius, so that doesn't matter. Okay, perk on the right is Overcharge, which makes, whenever I kick a gen, it gives a very difficult skill check that they have to hit. If they don't hit it, the gen loses extra progress. And also the regression starts slower than it usually is, but goes up to 130% the longer someone's not on a gen. The entire point is I kick a gen, I put a drone down, I have so much pressure around the area that they can't just jump on the gen instantly. We're also running Hunter's Lullaby, which is my bottom perk. Like every time I hook someone, skill checks basically become harder when it comes to sound. So the sound is delayed when skill checks pop. And at 5 stacks, there's just no sound. So I kick a gen, or I don't even kick a gen, they get a skill check, they can't hit it, or sorry, they can't listen to when the skill check's about to pop, they actually have to look at their screen. And this goes well with the fact that they know that I'm like a half stealth killer and that there's only a couple gens downstairs, so they have to really watch out. If they're looking around them, it's harder for them to look at the skill checks. And then the perk on the left is Merciless Storm. At 90% gen progress, they get like a couple of hard skill checks in a row. If they don't hit those, then the gen will be blocked for a while. I'm using one add-on which makes survivors oblivious when they have a claw trap, which is the green one on the right, and then the one on the left makes skill check sounds sort of I'm looking for, have no sound. Skill checks have no sound when they have a claw trap on. So you might be thinking, oh, that's just exactly the same as Hunter's Lullaby. And yeah, you would be right, but the add-ons only work when they have a claw trap on. So Hunter's Lullaby is kind of a backup for if they don't have a claw trap on. As you've noticed, these survivors are kind of messing around. So my goal here was like, I'll occasionally chase them, but when you know, they go too far away from the bottom area, I should have hit the Nia there. When they go too far away from the bottom area, I will just go back to protect the gens, because ultimately I want the bottom gens to be the only ones left. As you'll see, they are kind of messing around a bit, so this game was longer than it should have been, I feel like. And you'll notice that I don't really get the value that I want, but I also kind of do. The reason I didn't pick up Michaela at first, by the way, is because I heard the Feng around, and then obviously we're gonna hook the Feng, but I was too scared to pick the Michaela up because I thought she had power struggle, because they were messing around with the stunning perks and all that stuff, so we're just gonna leave her on the ground for a while. Yeah, I'm not used to doing these types of builds. I usually either run like a a build with Pentimento and plating, or I run just perks that make chase easier. I'm not really used to holding a 3-gen or, well, doing skill check builds, but yeah, I'm very intrigued by the entire skill check build type of deal, and I don't really like playing Doctor, so that's why we did it on Skull Merchant. Alright, that being said, I am gonna skip a bit ahead to the part where we actually get to the 3-genning setup, because, well, throughout the game it was just basically one person working on gens, 3 people trying to go for flashlight saves, and I mean, fun as it is, the build is about the skill checks, so let's skip ahead in time a tiny bit. Alright, so, and through the power of magic and editing, that is last gen, or not last gen, the second to last gen popping, and this is where the fun starts. Now, looking at the recording, this took roughly 12 minutes, so we did kind of go close to a old type of Skull Merchant build where, not build, playstyle, where we just be delaying. However, don't hate me just yet, because well, you'll see what happens. So my entire point is I'm gonna just try to, that was actually, I really thought I could hit that. I will try to just defend my gens downstairs, but also be in the terror radius as much as possible so that they have the difficult skill checks popping up. I kept the Michaela slug, but the point is not to really slug. I do want to get as many hooks in as possible, especially to get the lullaby going. Obviously, I can't hook her because she's on that paladin. There's like 9 survivors, just clicky away. That Fang messed up, obviously. It's not the first time she got hit through a drop pallet, but you know, that is what it is. I think I'm gonna be risky here and I'm gonna pick up, yeah. And I do like doing this. I like when the entire team is trying to, yeah, finding hooks is quite difficult here. When the entire team is trying to go for the beam save or the pallet save, and you just somehow manage to sneak it in, it's a very pleasant thing to do. It's a calculated risk to take, but it is what it is. Alright, so you see most of the drones are set up. I have one drone on me that I could use in chase, but I think I do put it down somewhere later on. This pallet is down, so I'm gonna kick it because it is the goddess of god pallets. So there's no point in keeping it up. And at this point, since no one's really pressuring gens, I can kind of afford to hover the hook. I don't need to face camp it, but I don't really need to chase the Nia here. And keep in mind that we are on 1 gen only with 4 hooks, so yeah. Obviously, we're gonna go for the Fang. I don't really see a point in tunneling. We don't want to keep the game going forever, but we also don't really see a need in ending it as quickly as possible. Yeah, it's the same Fang getting messed up again. Yeah, I like swinging through pallets. I do get a couple of hits that I maybe think I shouldn't be getting, but it is what it is. All right, put her on a hook. Now we have 5 stacks of Huntress Lullaby. So you'll see me take out my radar here. The reason I do this is because it makes me quickly, or it gives me the possibility to quickly check if my drones are still active. If I'm checking my radar and it doesn't give me the prompt to change directions, left or right, I take it down and I put a new one, because that means that the drone is disabled. Obviously, it'll enable again after a while, but I mean, if you're there, might as well redeploy it quickly. I tried getting a hit on the Nia there with my undetectable, but she has the check spot. She can just wait on the pallet for me to come, especially when she hears my terror radius disappear. She knows what I'm doing, so she's smart enough not to get caught by that. All right, Nia is injured. Nia has to mend, and this pallet is gone, so I was like, might as well go for it. And the good thing is that I do actually have decent hooks upstairs, although I do hook her downstairs. As you'll see later on, is I was kind of struggling with the hooks downstairs. I feel like I didn't have enough to really put them close by. Yeah, okay, checking on my drones, checking on the gens. This is, okay, so, wait, it's not here yet, never mind, okay. I don't know why I didn't kick that gen, because there was some progress on it, although doing this post-recording, I have my volume pretty low, so maybe I'm hearing that wrong. I love this Michaela's outfit, by the way. You'll see me when I'm chasing her. You'll see me kind of dodge lockers, because I'm scared that there's a Feng inside one of them lockers, waiting to head on me. She's still here, obviously. Well, I say obviously, she should have left when I kicked. Yeah, so you see there, I dodged the lockers, but I actually didn't properly dodge him. That was really well played from her, and poorly played by me as well. But yeah, she's been slugged for a long time. But I think I heard someone on this, so I went to check, and she couldn't repair past my kicking progress. That makes sense. So we're gonna go for the hook on her. Pretty sure she didn't have what's the perk called? The Ronaldo perk. So I picked her up. What is it called? Wait. Okay, okay, but it doesn't matter. All right, I'm drawing a blank here. All right, Michaela dead. But this becomes harder for them. I think throughout the game, like retrospectively, that's not a word. They could have gotten this. Also, watch this. Oh, it's not here yet. Okay, I keep messing up. They could have got it, but they were kind of messing about a bit too much. But I think they could have easily escaped as a 3-man here, even as a 4-man if they played more objective-based throughout the entire game. But they didn't, and they gave me a chance. I feel like this is kind of a Skull Merchant thing. They either think you are bad because you're playing Skull Merchant and they don't play as well as they could, or they're like, oh, I don't want to do gens because fuck this killer, so they're just gonna mess about, which adds to the kill rate for a killer that shouldn't have a high kill rate. I was gonna break it, but then I realized I shouldn't, because that just makes the loop much better for them. So we're not gonna break it, and we're just gonna be checking on the drones. All right, so you see how this gen is almost progressed, or like it's partially progressed, but I mean there's too many lockers for me to check, and she has head on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run outside of this drone's radius, so that she doesn't hear my terror radius anymore, put another drone down, and then come back, because I'm pretty sure someone is over here. Now I could have maybe even got the grab on her. No, actually, probably wouldn't have. And I wanted to get rid of the drone that I just placed, but I couldn't figure out which one it is. And I still really can't. I mean, if it is that one, then why is it activated? I guess Nia walked into it, the second Nia. Bit risky here because she could have had power struggle, but apparently she didn't. And I think this might be her last hook. Yeah, so at this point, I mean, the game is pretty much over. I am going to still check on the gens, but as you'll see, most of the gens don't have any progress anymore, and now it is just about chasing one of them and killing them. Okay, this Nia is kind of goofy with the thing. Yeah, I don't know why I swung there. That was kind of stupid. Can we get a laser tag? No, we can't. Laser tag. I actually forgot what it's called. I'm gonna chase one of the Nias for a while now. Either I am going to, or I did chase the other Nia as well. And one of them is very, very fond of teabagging. I think it's the other one, if I'm not mistaken. Like this chase, this chase I feel like I already kind of messed up because I've spent too much time on her. If the other Nia was just working on a gen, she could have got a lot of pressure in. But I do get this one after a while. Okay, so I think I cut this part out. This was in between. Did I just walked past the hook, I think. All right. The other Nia did loop me for a while, or loop me, did take me on a loop for a decently long time earlier. And she will after this as well. But when she was doing that, she was teabagging. So usually, I'm the type of person that gives Hatch the last one, but this guy was, he was showing disrespect. So we are going to go for a Hatch standoff, but not really. I am basically just going to try to bloodlust her to death here. I mean, okay, this is, you can say this is scummy, sure, it is. I could have just given her hatch, but I'm the type of person that if you know, if you do want a teabag, you can't really expect the killer to just be completely nice. So she's gonna drop the pallet, and I'm gonna try to play the pallet. She's obviously, she knows what she's doing, so this didn't really work out. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep the rest of the clip playing. There's no point in really doing commentary on this. This is kind of awkward, but I figured might as well keep it in. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this build was somewhat entertaining to watch. I think this is less annoying than the old Skull Merchant, or oh, I could have hit her there. The old Chess Merchant, and it's also less annoying than the Doctor build, but you know, people will hate on Skull Merchant because she's Skull Merchant. It is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.